It appears as though we are live. Nice. Okay, let's see how this. Okay, so I'm having a thumbnail issue, but we'll deal with that later. Okay. Well, now let me get some water. I'll be right back because I have some stuff to say this evening. I have some things to say to you people. I'll be back. Hello. Talk to me, hello. Okay. Hello. Hello. I'm coming. Just gonna get situated here. It's Thursday evening in my world, night I suppose, depending upon where you are. And I was gonna do a live last night, but I forgot. I got tired and I forgot. So here we are this evening. Let me see if I can back this up just a little bit. There's been a lot on my mind. There's been a lot going on in my world. So I've been wanting to do more live streams, but I've been really busy. So I'm trying to adjust stuff here. Bear with me while I move some things around. And my visibility is a little impaired because I have my laptop in front of me. So for the record, I have my laptop here so I can kind of see the screen. There we go. I can see the chat and I'm recording on my phone. So, there we go. Okay, let me mute this. Okay, so here's the deal. Oh, it looks blurry. Can somebody tell me, is it blurry on your end? I've worked, because my phone screen is like crystal clear, beautiful. And I have been working with this internet company and that internet person and trying so hard. I think it's just island style. It's kind of rough. So bear with me while I try to get this worked out, but I think that's just kind of what it is right now. So yeah, I see. Thank you for telling me that. When I'm looking at the playback or the feed, as I get it, there's a slight delay, but it is blurry there too, and that just sucks, unfortunately. Hi, everybody. Hi. Yeah, say hello as you're jumping on so I know that you're here, that you can hear me. I understand the picture's not as clear as I'd like for it to be. I think I'm just stuck with island internet, so I'm sorry. Please bear with me. I will continue to see if I can improve that, but for whatever reason, it's not wanting to cooperate right now. So here's what's on my mind tonight. There have been so many things going on with me lately, and I don't think it's just with me. From what I understand, there's some kind of like cosmic movement of planets or whatever, and people have been talking about Mercury in retrograde and all this kind of stuff, and I don't really know a lot about that. I don't follow a lot of that stuff. I understand, like, I've heard Mercury in retrograde means like there's issues with communication and it's not a good time to do certain kinds of things because they're like breakdowns of different types. So I don't really know, but I can tell you, if you saw my video from a few weeks ago when I was in Santo Domingo at the bus station, I just totally broke down. It was like, that was kind of the beginning of some unraveling that has happened because it was a really tough month. Compton, what's up? Hey there. Hi, Jason. Yeah, that was the beginning of, I would say I was coming unglued, but definitely some things were showing up in my life that were just really challenging. And February was a tough month. March is a little bit better, but still I'm noticing some different things. So here's what I'm talking about. I consider myself to be a very nice person, like genuinely, like just cool and easy to get along with. Like, don't start none, won't be none. I'm not looking for trouble. I'm not trying to cause any trouble. You know, I'm happy. I have a nice life. I'm not trying to create any issues. But sometimes people do crazy stuff. And, you know, so here's the thing. I've been living in this town now for 2 years. And it takes a while. I mean, you can move across town wherever you live. You don't have to leave the country, but you can move across town And it takes a while to become part of a new community and to, meet new people and kind of feel out who's who. And certainly coming to another country, that is the case. And hey, I haven't seen you for a long time. What's up, Jackson? So that can be the case for sure, getting to know new people and becoming a part of the community. And so that has taken some time. And then there are times when people may reach out and sort of embrace you and be like, hey, we're going to be friends or what have you. And so I had this situation. This was maybe over a year ago when it first happened, or about a year ago, with a family here. And initially so there's a family, a husband, wife, and 2 kids, and they are from other countries. The wife is from one place, the husband's from someplace else, but they're all living here now. And this is a little bit of backstory, so I can lead you up to where I'm going with this. And so I came to know the youngest boy because he's the same age as my son, and they kind of got to know each other. And I knew the kid from school too. I had taught at this particular school, and I came to know the mom a little bit. So the deal is they're a Black family. They're not American Black. They are from elsewhere. I won't say exactly everything in case somebody's watching, although whatever. But I was like, well, cool, because I'm down to meet. They're not Dominican, but I want to meet some of the brown people. I'm cool with meeting everybody, but it's always nice to meet people who are like you, right? At least in some ways. And things seemed to be going okay at first, and then after a while, so my son went to their home on one occasion to have, like a hangout, and ended up being an overnight. And the mother cooked dinner. And evidently my son didn't want to eat all of what she had. Hey, Daddy, what's up? Buenas noches. So he didn't want to eat everything. For whatever reason, he didn't finish his meal. And apparently she took great offense to this. Like, she was pissed off that he didn't finish his food. And started telling him about, there's kids in Haiti, they're just starving, and I cooked this food, you need to eat this food. And so somehow throughout this, the short story is that they locked him in a room, like for a period of time. I guess that's punishment. I was like, what the hell are you doing? So anyway, I didn't know about this. And my son has a phone. He has a phone with him at the time, so he could call me. If anything happens, he can call me. I can be in touch, what have you. And apparently he tried, or he wanted to call home, but he couldn't. I don't know if they didn't give him his phone. I'm not quite sure what all that was about. But when I went to pick him up the next day, we walked out and he started crying. And I was like, what's going on? And he told me about this scenario, and I was like, what the hell? So I took him around the corner. We sat like in a little, kind of like a parking lot area. I just had him debrief me, like what went down. So he tells me this about, kind of what happens with food, and he gets locked in the room and whatever, and he wanted to come home, but they wouldn't let him. It's too late to call your mother, don't call her. So we go home. I call the mother, and I'm like, so my son has told me some things that are disturbing. I'm trying to be cool and maintain my composure. I'm hearing some things that are kind of disturbing. And so I'd like to talk to you about this, right? I didn't just go off. I was like, let's talk about it. So she said, well, fine, come back. So we went back the next day. We talked about it. I'm sitting at her kitchen table with her, myself, my son, and her younger boy, again, who was friends with my son. I think her older boy was there too. And basically she started telling me, what her issue was, that how dare he not eat and all this. And I was like, I get it. Sometimes I cook food too and he doesn't eat, and it can be frustrating, but it seems like a bit of an overreaction. And, well, you should just be, what kind of child are you raising? And just very aggressive and very, I don't want to say violent, because she wasn't physically violent, but just overly nasty and, oh gosh, there's vitriolic, that's it. She was just hateful in her speech. And I was like, wait a second. And I'm like, and this thing about locking him in a room, that's just never okay. That you cannot do that. I mean, maybe that's what you do with your kids. I don't know, but don't ever lock my child in a room. That's not cool. And we're going to have major problems. And she just basically goes off. And her husband apparently was in the other room asleep. He was on his lunch break or something. He came out, he's like, what's going on? And I was like, your wife is nuts. Oh, good. I'm glad you can hear me. I'm really sorry for the transmission. I don't know what to do, you guys. Forgive me. I see it on my laptop. It's really blurry. Of course, on my iPhone, it is clear as a bell. So anyway, so the husband comes out and he's like, what's going on? And I was like, she's just kind of going off. And so then the boys were in a tennis class together. So then my son starts telling me during these tennis lessons that, oh, this kid's telling me he's going to kill me and calling him all kinds of MFs and just awful. And my son is pretty tame. And I mean, he knows these words, but he's definitely not one to use them. In fact, if I slip every now and then, I say something, he's like, Mom. And so I checked him and I told the mother at the court, I was like, what's up? And she's like, your son's a psychopath. And they're speaking French. And then she tells me, you're a dirty whore. I mean, just like completely goes ballistic on me at the tennis court in front of people. And she's like, you don't know who I know in this town. I will ruin you here. Crazy. And so I was like, all right, well, that's the end of them. And it was clear to me that the problem lied with their family. There was something going on, but I didn't know like any backstory. I'd had just a little bit of interaction with them that up to then had been fine. And then all of a sudden it just got nuts. And so this may sound weird, but even though I had my experience, there were times when I felt really bad. Like, it's like I want to be friends with people. And it made me feel, disappointed that didn't work out. Okay, so then cut to this year, and I end up hearing about that same family that, I don't know, she was at the school, a different school. I guess her son, her son and my son don't go to the same school anymore. And so she was at the school wherever her son goes and had some issue that was so serious that apparently the police had to be called, and now her son is like hazing some kids at the school where he's at, just on and on. And obviously I'm not happy to hear about any child having this kind of difficulty, but I will tell you, I felt kind of vindicated that it wasn't like just me, I don't know, misperceiving something. Okay, so that's one incident. Let me tell you about something else that happened. So my son was in a private school here, and it's supposed to be like the school, right? Where I'm paying good money for him to go. I mean, it's a lot less than the U.S. private tuition. I mean, there's no comparison. It's just way, way low. But still, I'm paying. And I find out through a series of phone calls, okay, so let me just back up. So at the beginning of the year, there's another family who's here, and they came because of us, really, because the mom was like also from California, like, oh my gosh, I'm seeing how you're living and how you're looking, and your life looks great, and I want to move there too. And I was like, really? Okay. I mean, I can't be responsible, and I can't promise you that my experience is going to be your experience, but cool. So short story. So they moved down, she and, her kids and whatever, the family, and go to the same school as my son. And I started getting these phone calls at the beginning of the year from the mom, like almost every day, seriously, almost every single day. She called and she's like, this happened at school and that happened at school and the teacher did this and the kid said that. And, and I was like, oh my gosh, I think she's kind of dramatic, honestly. And so I didn't really pay much attention. And I'm telling my son, listen, every teacher's not going to be your favorite. There's going to be times you're going to have to learn to get along. And every lesson you learn is not about like arithmetic or science or whatever. Sometimes the lesson is really more about how to get along in life, how to deal with people that are challenging, whether it's a classmate or a teacher or something you just don't want to learn, but you have to suck it up and you got to prepare to, take a test or whatever. And so this goes on for a while, but then I keep hearing just again and again and again. And then finally she tells me that her son has been saying to her, he feels like my son is getting picked on in class, like excessively picked on by this teacher. And then I'm like, well, wait a second, that's not cool. And my son is one who's he's a little bit reserved and kind of stoic. And so he doesn't come home and like complain or whatever. And if I'm like, how's school? He usually is like, oh, it's okay. But he doesn't really, he's not just he doesn't complain a lot. And so anyway, so I find this out, and without going through every single detail, because I am talking about children, I had a series of meetings with the school about this, and come to find out, apparently the teacher is very harsh, yells at kids. He just is like overly punitive, always focusing on the negative, what you did wrong, what the problem is, writes kids' names on the board, someone did this wrong, someone did that wrong. And I would much rather, I believe more in like sharing what's positive, right? And encouraging positive behavior. For example, at my son's school in California, in the time in second grade, his second grade teacher would write down what she called kindnesses. So if someone like helped somebody at lunch, or shared their lunch or whatever, or if someone fell on the playground, or just things like that, then she would write their name on the board. So they'd be encouraged to do more good behavior. And they're like, eager to either share what they did or what someone else did, to get recognized for that, as opposed to you forgot your pencil, you didn't do your homework, whatever. Someone's talking in class, all this negative. So, it basically didn't improve. In fact, it got worse. So much so that I have taken my son out of that school. Okay, I mean, it got really, really bad. And to the point where I've had to speak to people above the level of the school about this. Okay, it's gotten really significantly bad. And in one of my meetings with the director of the school, trying to kind of talk through this and resolve it, he flat out lied, you guys, and started like telling this narrative. This was in a meeting with other people, recounting some completely false narrative and trying to paint a picture of my child and of me that was bullshit, like just flat out lies. And I was like, what? And so every time we tried to go there, I was like, nope. I'm like, I'm not going to allow you to paint this picture and try to suggest these things that just aren't true. And all of this is to say, right, without giving you, this is not about like popcorn and all these, hey, what's up? This is not about just sharing the details with you. My point that I've been trying to get to is, earlier this evening, I saw a post that someone put on Facebook about, I guess some people had been talking trash about her or coming after her, doing something kind of nasty. And she's like, listen, you don't want to come for me, because not so much that she was going to retaliate, but it's like you're doing yourself in by doing me dirty, kind of was what her message was. And it's funny because right when I read that, I had just been thinking about this crazy ass director and all the stuff he's doing, and I certainly was perplexed. And honestly, like I said, take my son out of the school to protect him emotionally from this trauma and abuse that was happening. Other parents were like, what the hell's wrong with him? I'm like, I don't know. And then I think about the mother, who is now the mother from the story I told you initially, who is now recognized as being like cuckoo, and her son, has one of these serious behavioral problems, writing nasty stuff, like foul language stuff on the wall, and, really bad stuff, beating up kids or whatever. And, there's times when, again, like I said, some of this has made me feel vindicated, because when you're going through it, it's a really small town. And I'm like, I don't want people thinking like, negatively of me, or certainly not of my child. And I can't run around and go just start talking and buying into this, or really what my perception of it is, and wanting to defend something that it doesn't need to be defended, because it's not true, right? We have not done anything that has deserved the type of behavior that has come from these other parties. And so I began to think about scripture, and I don't know the particular verse, but basically it says, maybe when some of you guys out there will know it, and I can look it up and share it later. But anyway, it basically talks about that when you dig a hole for someone else, you're the one who's going to fall in it, right? When you plot to do evil or harm someone, you are the one who ends up being harmed by your own misdeeds and like conniving behavior or trying to harm somebody. And I thought about that, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I don't have to worry and be concerned about, all this stuff. And honestly, it really hurt me. I mean, it really, because again, I'm talking about my child. So I was hurt, and I was angry at different times. And I was really hurt because I want him to have a good experience. I want him to be able to feel free and safe. He didn't even feel safe at school. It got really bad. And, I want to be able to feel comfortable in the community and feel like we have friends here and all that. And we have some, but, it can be a little bit difficult, you guys. Like, everyone's like, oh my gosh, you guys live in paradise and it's wonderful. And I was telling my son today, take him to a piano lesson from it. I'm driving along the beach, and it is spectacularly beautiful. I mean, for sure, it is gorgeous here. Um, but it can also be challenging because we're talking about people from different cultures. Everyone I've mentioned so far is from a different culture. And whether it's that, or you're dealing with people who really are slightly mentally ill, whatever the situation is, I don't know, but it can feel a little bit isolating at times when, I want to be able to reach out or have my son reach out or, hey, go play. Like, I want to have some time, go play with so-and-so. I'm a little more careful now about, do I really want you to go over to somebody's house? Like, how well do I know this family? And so there's that aspect of it, but then there's also the part that I was saying about, number one, recognizing everyone's not going to be your friend. Like, everybody is not going to love you. Some people are, this is not my first thought, but several people have said to me, Kelly, people are jealous. And I'm like, jealous of what? Like, what am I don't know. There are people who have way more money than I have, like way more money. There are people who have, I don't know, whatever, but I guess people can be jealous, or they're just unstable, or I don't know. I can't call it, but basically, you guys, don't be ugly. Don't be ugly. Like, don't start no shit, because there's just no need for that. And I don't understand why people create this ugliness out of nothing. I don't understand why people seek to harm other people, whether it's verbally or emotionally, and certainly not physically, but I just don't, like, I wonder, okay, so about this kid who's telling my son, I'm going to kill you, and I don't even want to repeat the stuff he said, but it was like foul for like a 9 or 10-year-old to be saying. Like, the worst kind of cuss words you can think of, right? This kid is saying to my son. I'm like, wow, what's up with that? And it makes me wonder, like, what's going on in that household? What's like, is it just that he's watching some crazy videos and he thinks it's cool to say that? Are his parents talking like that? Does his mother talk to him like that? Like, I don't know. But what's that about, And at this point, I'm just kind of standing back, not so much from that family because we're removed from them, but from this director situation. I'm like, you know what? Some shit's gonna happen to you because not only are you not addressing the problem of this teacher who was harassing and humiliating and abusing my son, but you are, by your own actions and your attitude and trying to propagate lies about us, you yourself are the problem. You're creating a toxic environment here. And it like boggled my mind that he was sort of hell-bent on finding, just searching for anything to try to pin on him. And one of the mothers who was in the meeting afterwards came to me and said, like, pulled me aside and said, I don't know what that was about. That was crazy. And obviously, he was just trying to find some excuse. And, like I said, it really hurt my heart because some people don't know what's true and what's not. And so they're going to believe, potentially, the shit that's being said. And I'm like, that's not what it is. And, initially I was furious. I wanted to like write. And actually, let me tell you this. I did a video a couple of weeks ago when this all went down that I was going to put on YouTube because I was like, oh, motherfucker, I have a YouTube channel and I will out him. And, I was going to go that route. And I was like, no, take a step back and breathe and let's approach this rationally and not emotionally. But I wanted some get back basically. And then my better judgment took over, thankfully, and I didn't do it. But I am sharing it now because, as I said, I had this kind of revelation spiritually and also through seeing this other woman's post about, for the United States, that's interesting. I don't know. This post that said, basically, like, whatever you do to try to harm me is going to come back on you. And that's just, it helped me so much because I was like, it's true. And I'm not one to wish harm on anybody. I mean, actually, I really wish the best. Even if you are out to get me, I may not wish you the best in that moment. But in the end, it's like, I wish you peace and love because then you can change your funky self around and quit putting that negative stuff out there, if that makes sense to you, right? here's an example. So I'm divorced, right? And when I got divorced, you know, I was happy to get away. And I had plenty of gripes. I had to look at myself like, why did I choose this person and all that kind of stuff. But in the moments initially, I was like, oh my God. And I could list all the things like, what a loser and all this kind of stuff. But I had to get to a certain point where it's like, let me send him blessings and just wish him love and peace from a distance. I don't need to be connected, but this is my child's father. And he needs to be as okay as he can be, if for no other reason than to just send out some positive energy to my son. And, what he does, I don't know, because he's one of those that just has zero involvement. And I can't really speak on that because that wasn't my decision, that was his decision, and he's going to have to live with it. But again, for anybody who is just like sort of failing miserably in certain aspects of their lives, or being hateful or lying, things like that. I mean, so I was raised by a single mom, although my parents, I have been in touch with both of them all my life. My parents got divorced when I was young. But my mother's thing with me was like, do not lie. She's like, if you lie, you'll do anything, right? If you're willing to tell a lie, then that opens the door to every other kind of bad behavior. So I always was fearful of lying and, having that hang over my head. And so I lost my train of thought. But, so basically I just, as I said, maybe not always in the moment, like with the situation with the school or this crazy mother, but there is a part of me that's like, God bless them, because they must be in a really bad way to be behaving like that. They must be in a really bad way. I don't know what that's like. I don't know what it's like to just falsify stuff. And about a child, like who makes up stuff about a child and just tries to present it as true? This is the director of a school. I'm like, I said meeting, I'm like, your job is to protect children and to make this a really healthy, happy environment. And that doesn't mean like children have like no responsibility and there's no boundary. Obviously, you're supposed to do your work and you're supposed to behave and listen, all that kind of stuff. But we're not even talking about that. We're talking about just some random bullshit that you're making up, and you're making it up. Like, I know it and you know it. And like, what is your deal? So I don't know what that's about, you guys. Interestingly, this person, same director, asked me to work for him last year, right? I guess, so the deal was that he's like, well, we want more Americans at the school, and your English, of course, is perfect, and you're a lawyer, and so you can help me write all this stuff, and you speak Spanish and French, and so you can do it. Because I was like, I don't know if my French is really that good. He's like, it's good enough. In fact, he's like, your French is fine, you're fine. My French is not. I mean, it's okay, but it's not like, it's certainly not native level. And my Spanish is way better because I'm here and I speak Spanish all the time. And being from California, that was a language that I spoke most often other than English. I haven't used French a lot recently because I just, the opportunity hasn't been there. So my French has improved having lived here because there's so many French people here. And anyway, so he was like, yeah, work for me. And I was like, I've been warned by other people, you don't want to deal with this guy. He's crazy. He's, everyone hates him. He's going to work you to death and all this stuff. And so, but I hadn't had any negative experience with him at that point. I asked him, like, what are the hours? He's like, well, 7:30 to 4:30. And I was like, oh, hell no. Like, I didn't leave my, city life in California to come here and work myself to the bone. And I was like, the only way I would consider doing it is if I can, number one, work from home at least part of the time. And those hours are just not going to happen. And he's like, okay, I'll work this and work that. So he was trying everything to try to and I said, I got to have X amount of dollars, right? And it's schools usually don't have much money. And so it wasn't exorbitant, but anyway. And I guess the board basically was like, no, she can't just be chilling like that. And I'm like, all right, well, I can't do it because I have other stuff I'm interested in doing. And so anyway, but the point is that he was really wanting me. He was like, no, I want you to work with me. And it didn't happen. And then this year, it's like I hear he's like after my kid all the time. So I don't know, but yeah, it's kind of weird. So I titled this, when you do these live streams, it's like, what's the title? I'm like, I don't know. But I decided to call it Give What You Want to Get, because I really do think that these people that I've described to you are in for either they're already having, they must be having like horrible stuff happen to them, right? Because, you know, you've heard the saying, hurt people, right? Like they must be suffering at some level to be doing what they're doing. And they got more stuff coming, because to behave that way is only going to perpetuate ugliness coming to them. And I don't mean because I'm going to do anything. I mean, I'm talking to you now. I'm putting it out there to this extent now, but I'm not, you know, I mean, I will handle in terms of making sure my son's well-being is covered, and you know, sort of administratively, there's some things that are in place right now, or, you know, in progress, I should say. But other than that, I mean, I'm not out to get anybody. And yeah, the wrong one. Well, you know, it's funny because in the meeting, in terms of the wrong one, I was like, I'm not the one. You're not going to just create some crap and talk to me any old kind of way and, you know, try to sell a bunch of lies here. For number one, can we say defamation, which is actionable, by the way. And, you know, I mean, you don't want to go there. He even said in the meeting, he's like, oh, your son has a really good lawyer. I was like, yeah, dumbass. Like, what do you think? You know, I don't know what they think. So, but yeah, who's that? Oh, you love my channel. Thank you so much. You know what, you guys, let me just pause really quickly and say, I really, really, really appreciate, number one, hearing from you. Well, I guess number one, that you even are tuning in. That's absolutely number one. I appreciate that so much. And I love your feedback. I like the encouragement I get from you guys. I really do. I can actually feel the love. You know how I'm always like, I love you, I love you, I love you. I hope you guys can feel that because it's real. But I get a lot of really nice feedback from you, and I appreciate it, because there are times out here, as I'm describing to you now, that it's kind of blows my mind, and it can be a little bit lonely, you know, because I am a single mother right now for the moment. You never know what can happen, but for the moment. And so everything falls on me. So if there's a battle like this at the school, and I'm, you know, I say battle kind of within reason, I have to go fight it. I have to go meet the director. I have to, you know, like push back on the lies. I have to be the one to set the record straight. Like, I'm not going to do this. I have to be the one to like document stuff. I have to be the one to do everything, you know, and not just with that, I mean, just in life. And it gets exhausting. That's when you saw me at the breakdown, I think, in Santo Domingo. I was like, it's overwhelming sometimes, and it's too much, and the bus station is dirty, and all these kinds of things. Because, you know, I like nature, and the island life is cool, but I'm also a luxury girl. Let us not be mistaken. I like nice things, and I have had a pretty privileged life, and I like it that way. To be perfectly honest, I like it that way. So I wish you guys could see me clearly. I look kind of cute, and I have to say, I went out a little while ago because, so here's the thing, no good deed goes unpunished, they say. And so because I've been doing these videos, there are people in my town now who are like, hey, can you do video for me? So like my dance teacher, I started taking my salsa lessons again, and my dance teacher's like, oh, can you do some videos for me? So we worked out a barter, because his lessons are expensive, right? I'm like, dude, I can't afford your lessons, that's too much. And so before, I was teaching his son and some other people, like, to work with him English in exchange for lessons. And now his son is living with his mom or something, someplace else. He's not in town anymore. He's like, no, we're not doing it anymore. And I was like, well, I'm not paying this much for your lessons. Like, I'm not doing that. And he's like, well, do some videos for me. So that's the deal. So I went out tonight to shoot a video, a little bit of some of the, not him dancing, but like he's got some what they call animators. If you saw my nightlife video, you know what animators are. The people who go to the clubs, they kind of entertain the clients there. This was like a nice restaurant. And also my trainer, after the workout video, he's like, hey, I want you to do a video for me. So, oh my gosh. So, yeah, so now I'm like inundated with video work. You know, it's fine. You know what? These videos take a lot of work, I have to tell you, because I'm doing everything. I'm like a one-man band. I'm shooting them. I'm talking to you. I'm editing. I'm whatever, all this crap. Plus trying to have a regular life on the side and actually earn money, because these have nothing. This is a no-income endeavor at the moment at all. But I like it. I enjoy it. So. Danny, thank you so much. No, you know what? So the nature thing, of course, I love nature. That's part of what's so wonderful about being here. Again, I was talking to my son today going, look at where we live, dude. It is beautiful. beautiful. I mean, it is phenomenally beautiful where we live, for sure. The DR is gorgeous. And I feel very, very privileged to be able to be here. And I feel, one of the things that happened before I left California is that I kept hearing the word brave. People kept saying, oh, you're so brave to be making this move. And I was thinking, am I brave? Is that what this is? Because at the time it didn't feel like an act of bravery. It just felt like if I didn't do it, I was going to be living kind of an unfulfilled life. And I really couldn't accept that. That just wasn't good enough for me. There were things I wanted to do. I had always wanted to live out of the country. And I'd lived in Paris for summer when I was in my 20s, and I'd done a study abroad in Spain and a little bit in Costa Rica, bits and pieces, but I hadn't had a residence really elsewhere. And so I did it because I wanted to raise my child, at least to some extent, overseas. I wanted to live a life abroad. I wanted to, brave, yeah. I wanted to get out of the U.S. because it was crazy. And my son was like, why are they killing Black people? And I was like, you know what? No, I don't want you growing up with that in your mind. I want you to grow up and be free and climb trees and play and just, be able to go outside and just, yeah, free spirit. Now that for sure. Anyway, so I left for those reasons. And the cost of living was crazy. And I'm working, and I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere. This makes no sense. This is stupid. This is a setup. I'm not going to be a cog in somebody else's wheel, toiling forever and not liking it and, getting all the symptoms that people talk about, high blood pressure and whatever kinds of crap. I mean, I didn't have that. Fortunately, my health has always been really good, but I was like, I don't want that. And so, we ended up here. And I had come before, just for those who don't know, I came here in 2016, the summer of 2016, I accepted a job as a professor at a university in Santiago, Dominican Republic, which is inland. It's about an hour and a half south of the North Coast. And so that was my first time in the country. I'd only ever heard of Punta Cana, of course, because I had friends who'd been here and oh, the beaches, the resorts, but I didn't. We stopped there briefly on the way, but anyway, so it's beautiful to live here. I don't think we're going to live here forever. There are times I want to knock my head on the wall because of the way some things are here. It's really inefficient, a lot of it, and I feel like the lack of education, the poor level of education here in this country definitely is challenging at times because people there's just not the level of critical thinking that many of us take for granted. People just don't think about, alternate ways of doing things. It could make a lot of sense, and so, it's not so much because of that. The trash can be a problem here. It isn't so much because I just feel like we're going to do my thought when I left the U.S. was 3 to 5 years. It was kind of I didn't tell anybody that because, when you tell somebody something, they want to hold you to it and well, you only did 2.5 years, or oh, you came back in 6 months. I just didn't know. But that was my thought, was 3 to 5. And I think that's probably about right. And I base that on my son's schooling because he is 10 now. And when I thought about that, I was like, well, he'll be right. And I think it was finishing middle school. Anyway, so that's kind of what the plan was. Okay, let me see what you guys are talking about. I've just been running my mouth. What are you talking about? Danny, so Danny accosted you guys. I was on a beach not too far from here and walking along one day. I was not filming, although I should have because it's so pretty. And I went to this hotel, I am going to film that hotel, by the way. It's called Playa Grande in Cabrera. And I'd heard that it was fantastic, way high level. Yeah, Playa Grande. And of course I talked my way in there because I just do. That's just what I do because that's just who I am. And pardon me. Then I ran to Danny and I'm walking along the beach with my cousin who was visiting. And I hear, did you say Kelly? Did you say Free Island Girl? Something. And I was like, who is calling me? I'm in, nobody knows me, right? And this man says my name. And I was like, what? And it was Danny Acosta. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's like, I'm a viewer. I thought, oh, this is amazing. So I stopped and we chatted for a minute. And it was cool. So and it's nice when I get to run into viewers or like the nightlife video. I was doing that, excuse me. And same thing. I was like showing different like parts of town where you can go dance or whatever. It's so sweet, Danny. You made mine too. It was great to see you. I did the nightlife video, and this woman was like, "Free Island girl." You guys, it's so funny because that's starting to happen to me now. Like I was in the grocery store, and a woman's like, "You're a Free Island girl." I'm like, "What?" Totally caught me off guard. But so what happens is, just so you know, so obviously this is YouTube, but I take these videos and I'll put them on the Facebook page where I live because there's like a local Facebook page, and I'll put them on this page and that page so people in this community, some of them anyway, are watching these videos. So then they'll be like, hey, I got out and I went to the bank one day, and the guy goes, hey, Island girl, what's up? And it just blows my mind sometimes that it's happening. And I was in Cabarete recently. I don't know if I recorded some stuff up there. Maybe I'll do it. I did some real estate, some stuff, because I know some of you guys have asked about luxury properties. And so I was really more just checking it out. I wasn't thinking to necessarily do a video. But anyway, someone up there was like, this woman comes up to me and she's like, okay, I have to say something to you. And I was like, yeah. She goes, I know who you are. And at first I didn't get it, right? And I was like, yeah. And she goes, yeah, my husband and I watch your videos all the time. You're a local celebrity here. And I was like, I am? And she goes, yeah. So anyway, it's just kind of funny to me. I don't really know where I was going with all of that, but it's just funny. And I have to tell you that I actually, so I like doing the videos where I'm showing you stuff like real estate or cool things to do, little adventures, whatever. But honestly, I love this a lot. Remember I told you before I got to 1,000 subscribers, I was like, come on, help me get to 1,000 because then we can live stream again. And so the fact that we can kind of like communicate back and forth and I can see what you guys are saying and I can respond to you is awesome. Awesome. I love that. The only thing I have to fix now is this funky, blurry stuff. And I'm telling you guys, I've been through I'm on my third internet company right now. Okay. And I paid like over $100 to have this supposedly great antenna installed, and you see the result. I think it's just because of the island. I don't know. Let's see. Okay. So let me go back and see what you guys have said here. I don't know if anybody... Actually, yeah, so my son is involved in extracurricular activities, so I've got him, especially now because I pulled him out of that school. So I took him to physicians, and they were like, definitely signs of abuse, emotional abuse. And I was like, this is crazy. I mean, he's waking up like, I have a stomachache, I don't want to go to school, and all these different things, like really, like day after day. Sometimes kids are like, I don't want to go to school today. Okay, that's normal, but not every day. And I will tell you, since I pulled him out and I have him doing some different things, when I picked him up from piano today, the teacher, who's French, by the way, he takes piano lessons in French, was like, he's doing so well. I have a recital coming up in June. He's doing so well. I'm gonna have to give him a second piece because he's learning, he took piano lessons before in California, in English and Spanish. I'm raising a badass, and not like with pressure, but I mean, he's a great kid. He just is a great kid. But he just lights up. He was just so happy, and he comes home and he's like going on his own to play the piano. I don't have to like get on the piano and play, and like you can always tell kids to do stuff. He's doing it on his own, and to see like the light come back in him and the happiness come back in him. Oh my God. I told her, I was like, thank you so much for like acknowledging this, because I didn't go into everything with her, but like he's been beat down. He was being beat down by this teacher. And you know how you are with your kids, right? Those of you who are parents, that's not cool. So, and when the idea of taking him out of school first sort of came up, I was like, oh my God, like, I am not a parent who ever wanted to homeschool. Like, I was like, no, you got to get up and get out. I need some time alone. I have work to do. I need a break. I need to have mama time, personal, like not mama, but like woman. I need to be a woman and be able to go do what I want to do. Like, I need you to be gone. I was was not trying to have him be around all the time. Love him dearly, but please leave. So the whole thing about homeschooling was like not good news for me. But you know, you do what you have to do, and I'm not so much, you know, I mean, I have certain things that he's doing now, but it's also just some downtime. A good friend of mine has been an educator for like 30 years, and she said, you know, apparently, I guess studies have shown, or whoever the educators are that do this kind of work, say that when you're taking your child from a traditional school setting into homeschooling, there's a period of time, I guess they call it deschooling, where they just need to kind of, especially where there's been trauma, that you just let them kind of recover from that. And so it's not like that hardcore curriculum, you know, because me being, you know, educated and you know, used to the way that I'm thinking of school, it's like, okay, I gotta have you do some science stuff. It's like one day we did some science experiments, and you're gonna do this, and you're gonna do that. And she's like, you know, some of that, but just kind of ease off. And I was like, oh, fantastic. So anyway, so he's definitely involved in some stuff, but it's not over the top. I do not think I'm going to continue homeschooling next year because, you know, like I said, I need a break. Anyway, so yeah, you guys, I hope that you all are feeling good and that your lives are happy and that you are sharing the love that you do have with other people and that you are feeling good about yourselves. I'm going back to the theme of this, you know, give what you want to get, because I just believe so strongly in, you know, so I'll say this. I think some of you have said, oh, you know, that you feel good about the channel or whatever way that I may be showing up for you. And I think it's because, I mean, I'm giving you who I really am. Like, I don't turn off this camera and then go be a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just who I am. I'm genuinely a very happy person. Of course I have downtimes. You've seen that. They happen. I have times when I, you know, don't make great decisions, or I don't know, whatever. I mean, but I'm human. I'm normal. But basically, I like me a lot. And I like people. And I enjoy my life. And it has nothing to do with how much money I have or don't have. It has nothing to do with, you know, like I was telling my son today, I'm like, we were doing different things this afternoon. On our first piano lesson, we drove down a road that we had never been down before. And I knew that it was like sort of like a barrio, like really poor kind of area. But it's beautiful. And there were some like young guys on the side of the road, this little sort of like an outdoor they had a pool table and a domino table set up. I was like, oh my gosh, I wanted to film it. Not for this necessarily, but for something else. And he's like, I don't want to get out. He's kind of shy. So he stayed in the car. And I got out and I ended up shooting pool with these guys. And I'm not very good, but, you know, it's fun anyway. And they were just really nice, you know, like at the end, one guy was like trying to put what's it called, like the cue ball, the white one, you know, in a place so I could finally get a shot in because I sucked so badly. And, but just like to connect with people, you know what I mean? And I told my son, I was like, you have to get out. And like, they're the same as us, you know, it doesn't matter where they live or we are the same. And we look just like them. Everyone thinks we're Dominican anyway. But it's like, you need to get out. So then we went and drove up a little bit more, and there's a baseball field, much more rustic than the one where my son used to play baseball. But it was beautiful, like little kids playing and then older boys playing. And I told him, I was like, you have to get out. You have to get out and come. You don't have to like say hi to everybody, but just be around these people, you know? They're no different from us. And I want him to feel comfortable, you know, I want him to feel comfortable being in the world and being around people. And so I think I'm kind of rambling. But anyway, I'm just trying to talk. What's coming out really is just that I feel like it's important to love people and to share your heart with them and get to know them. And, you know, even if you don't speak the language, you know, hola, hello, smile, just exude some warmth, and it goes a long way. So I expect to get a lot more love back because I give a lot of it out. And even if I have bad days and I want to kick somebody in the. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Danny. Sometimes I think about the fact that, a single mom raising a boy, that there's not a lot of, there's some male influences, but not like a regular, like would have been nice. And I hope that I'm doing enough or the right stuff. And then I think about Obama. I'm like, shoot, you know what I mean? And it's funny because, he was raised overseas for a while too. His mother took him to Indonesia when he was about the same age as my son when we came here. And they lived there for, was it a year and a half? She actually ended up marrying an Indonesian guy. But you guys know, like Obama's actual father was not in his life. I think he saw him twice in his whole life. So anything is possible. Anyway, like I said, kind of rambling. But my whole point tonight was, give what you want to get, because those people who are being funky and ugly and lying and doing all this horrible stuff, I don't know, but I expect to soar and have more great stuff happen. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. So you want to know something? I wrote to the Ministry of Tourism here. I sent them I just basically told them, you need to partner with me. You need to support me because I could really help this country. I believe I could really help this country. As you know, it has a public image problem. People think that the DR is dangerous and not safe for investment. And, remember when the tourists were dying and stuff, just it has an image problem. And I'm not saying I can change the whole image, but I do think that some videos I've done have been really helpful and made people consider coming here, whether it's to vacation or to invest in real estate or businesses or what have you. And who better but me? Who better but me? Hablo español, I speak Spanish, I look good, I'm nice, people like me, I like me, I just feel like, why not? So, so if you want to send an email, it's the Office of International Promotions. You know what? I'm going to put that lady's email address in the description box. And I want you guys to flood her email with votes for Free Island Girl to partner with this Office of International Promotion. Because, right? What do you think about that? Let me know what you guys think. Can somebody send me some feedback? What do you think about that? I think it's a fantastic idea, frankly. And who is Francisco Javier? I don't know who that is. The woman I found out, apparently the director of the Office for International Promotion is Indira José. Indira José. If I had her email address on me right now, I would tell it to you, but I don't know. Tourism. Okay, well, I'll look him up. If you know him, Danny, then hey, tell him to check out my videos. And so, I'm happy to talk to whoever. Like I said, I speak Spanish. I sent her an email in Spanish, like the whole thing. And some ideas go around the country. Obviously, you can show the beaches, whatever, but after, 5 beaches, come on now, there's way more to this country than that. Did you know there's free trade zones that if you set up your business in certain areas, you are exempt from taxes? So check this out, something I learned. So there's a company here called Cola Real. It's cola with a K, Real, like real. And I believe they're a Peruvian soda company, kind of like Coca-Cola or whatever. But they set, and this is a woman from apparently the president's office or whatever, who approached me over a year ago saying, hey, we want to partner with you. And then that just fizzled. She never really followed up. But anyway, when we met, she told me that there are these different zones where if you set up your business there, you don't have to pay any taxes, which was amazing, right? And she said, yeah, that's why this company Cola Real has done so well in this country, because apparently they found out about that law. And so they set up offices in wherever these little places, remote areas for sure. But you don't have to have the whole operation. You could just have a computer and a phone and maybe someone answering, like a makeshift office, and then have the other stuff someplace else. Anyway, Cola Real found this out and set up their offices there, whereas Pepsi or Coke or whoever it was didn't. And of course you can buy those other drinks here, but Cola Real is the drink that Dominicans drink for sure. It's everywhere. And so, when you know certain things like that, or you find out about certain properties, where if you buy property that's under this law, you're exempt from property taxes for a long time. I mean, I did an interview yesterday, I believe, with the senior partner of a law, like the law firm. He's actually my lawyer. If I need a lawyer, he's the man. And I actually am hoping to upload that one on Sunday, but does anybody know how to I cannot transfer it from my phone. I have an iPhone 11 now. You guys have like the best phone, right? To transfer it to I have a MacBook Pro laptop, but for some reason it's not letting me transfer. I don't know what to do, but I want to have that for you guys on Sunday. Anyway, we were talking in that interview about real estate investment and all those kinds of things, because I've been getting so many questions about that. I also have a video I'm going to do an interview soon on residency, because again, people are writing me constantly about that, and I do not want to give you information because I'm a lawyer, but I'm not a Dominican lawyer, and I want it to come straight from the source. But anyway, there's just so much to learn here. All this was about like like doing a show, having the Dominican government work with me on this, because I can provide a lot of really good information that people want to know about, but it's not getting out there. And then like fun stuff, nightlife or whatever, right? Any other kind of stuff that you want to know. The relationship with Haiti, that's coming up. I have a lot of things that are coming. So anyway, yeah, so please check back. As soon as I finish this live stream, which I'm going to end soon because I've been talking for a long time, I will put the email address of the Director of International Promotions in the Ministry of Tourism. As I said, her name is Indira José. I'm going to put her email address in the description box. And yeah, she has my proposal, and holler at her, be like, yeah, you need to get Free Island Girl and support her because she's awesome, and we want to see her, and we want to invest in your country, but we want to invest because Free Island Girl's the like, I don't know, whatever, but just if you would support me in that way, that'd be fantastic. So with that, you guys, I think I've made my point tonight that I wanted to share about give out good stuff, because you don't want to be like those other folks and have ugliness coming back to you. And I believe that my viewers are like great people, seriously, because I think if you weren't, you wouldn't really be interested in my channel, because I'm not about the other stuff. So thank you. I appreciate it. Love you guys. I'm going to go and settle in for the evening, get cozy, read. I'm reading The Richest Man in Babylon, which is a great book that talks about building wealth, and you pay yourself first, don't spend, live below your means, different things like that. But in a really great, it's a great book, right? It talks about really good things. So I'm into the gold and trying to accumulate gold and just all kinds of stuff, you guys. I'm just interested in living an amazing life. So mwah, as always, love you. Thank you so much for checking me out tonight, and wish me luck with editing this video with the lawyer, because it's a really good one and it's got a lot of great information. I'm going to try to have that up for you on Sunday. If for some reason it doesn't happen, it's because I'm working on it, but it's coming soon. Okay, love you. Bye. Have a great night. Bye.